The soldiers are coming out and saying, this guy, we lost people trying to look for this guy who left the base himself and was saying before he left the base that it's an embarrassment to be an American, embarrassment to be an American soldier, that, we're basically, quite honestly, one of the reasons why probably John Kerry and the State Department went for this guy is because John Kerry recognized him. The same kind of guy. They were strapping electrical cords to the genitals. Same guy. Mm-hmm. Did exactly what John Kerry was doing, and he's not finished yet, I'm sure. He'll come back, and I'm sure he'll testify in front of Congress, and he will accuse our soldiers of all kinds of stuff. Plus, the president went around Congress, didn't alert Congress as to what he was doing. Again. This is worse.
Against the law.
This is worse. He broke the law here. Is anyone going to say anything? My guess is nope. Nobody's going to say a word. It'll just move on. Because who's going to? Do you think anybody in Washington D.C. has the balls to impeach this guy? No, they all play political games. It's not going to be good. It won't work out for the Republicans if we impeach him. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Somebody's got to be on the record that this is wrong. That this can't happen. Look what Newt Gingrich, another progressive, said over the weekend about the NSA. He said as soon as we're hit with another one, the millennials will change their mind on the NSA. Will they? Maybe they will. I won't. Maybe they will. I hope to God not. I hope to God that we have some people that won't trade their freedom for security. The world is just a crazy place. Now, the question is this soldier a traitor or not? Boy, what's coming out now sure seems like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that we've saved a soldier, but not, quite honestly, and I would say this for Marcus Luttrell, not 5-1. And Marcus Luttrell would not want to be saved. If it meant we had to let 5 dirtbags from the Taliban out and leave the 5 worst guys we have in Guantanamo, do you think that Marcus Luttrell would say yes to that? No way. There's no way.
Well, many of these guys were on missions designed to take out one guy at the level of the 5 people that we released.
Right. And this guy walked off the base himself. Yeah. This is not a guy that was fighting and in the throes of it. And, the only reason why we know this is because one of the soldiers, we didn't even know this guy had been caught or was missing. One of the soldiers in his platoon actually went on Facebook and said, this guy needs to be executed.
Yeah, for deserting. That's how it became to the media's attention.
Yeah, that's how we found out about it. Now, I don't know if the president found out about it then or maybe this weekend after the exchange had been made and he heard about it in the media. I'm not really sure how
he was reading HuffPo yesterday.
Right, yeah,
found out.
He found out. I released a bunch of people.
Wow.
I didn't know that. And apparently it was against the law. I'm outraged by that.
Found out the same time you did.
I'm going to get to the bottom of that one. I'll tell you that right now.
I will not rest. I'm doing everything I can. Okay.
Doing everything within my power to make sure that doesn't happen again. But I just found out about it. So
the reaction of the dad is pretty bizarre as well. He had that really weird tweet where he said, I am still working to free all Guantanamo prisoners. God will repay for the death of every Afghan child. Amen. Okay. And then he deleted that tweet. And then at a press conference, he said how proud he was of his son to go as far as he went for the Afghan people.
I'm proud of how much you wanted to help the Afghan people and what you were willing to do to go to that length. I'll say it again.
Okay.
I'm so proud of how far you were willing to go to help the Afghan people.
Meaning, I guess, that he was willing to desert for the Afghan people?
I don't know. I mean, not willing to judge. Like. I'm not willing to judge him. I mean, I mean, my spider senses are all tingling, but I'm not willing to judge him until we hear from him. But I mean, the stories that I read were saying that he thought that somehow or another was it you, Stu, that described it in the perfect way, thought that the military was like the Peace Corps with guns?
I said that.
Yeah, he said that.
When he first joined.
When he first joined. Yeah. So when he said, I want to go help the Afghan people, I mean, I think we all want to help the Afghan people. There's nobody. I don't know anybody who's like, screw the Afghani people.
But
Let's
if
just
you
kill
don't
them
know
all.
what the U.S. military does when you're
a moron.
Come on
but
now. Come on.
You're going in to help the Afghan people. That's like, should we go in and help the German people? Yeah, well, look what we did at Dresden. Well, yes. And look what we stopped. Look what we stopped. Mm-hmm. Now, are we stopping any of that now? No. We should be gone. We should be out of there years ago. What are we doing there now? I don't know. We're not helping anybody. We're certainly not helping our soldiers by still being there. But I just can't understand other than the president, I think he thinks everything is like a golf score, that it's the reverse of whatever it is. You're supposed to get 5 of our guys for 1 of theirs. I think because he lives in this golf world, he thinks everything is reversed, so he thinks he did a really good job. Look at what I did. I went in and I negotiated. I got this used car. It was $20,000 when I walked on the lot. I just got it for $38,500. Mr. President, you're negotiating in the wrong direction. How did we give up? How did the United States of America, you want to talk about no power? God help us, don't let him negotiate with the Russians or the Chinese. How do you negotiate against the Taliban and get 1 for 5 of theirs? And the one you get is the one that all of the other soldiers on our side go, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm glad that he was released. I'm glad that he's back home.
And I'm sure they'll spin this in a way that, well, 1 American is worth 5 of their people. Maybe they'll spin it like that. No, because he believes in American exceptionalism just like he believes in Afghani exceptionalism. So there's no more exceptional than us.
And we keep throwing out this fact that he did this illegally, which he did. But, this happens a lot where people do something and, it's one of these antiquated laws. It was passed in 1794.
No, this isn't it.
This was just passed specifically about, hostage transfers and negotiations like this. And the law specifically says you have to let Congress know about it 30 days in advance of the transfer. And he did, even though he campaigned against it, did a signing statement which said pretty much, well, yeah, I'm signing this into law, but I don't believe it's constitutional, so I'm not going to follow it. And then he followed through on that and just ignored the law that he signed and did not alert Congress at all, let alone 30 days in advance. That is, when Bush was criticized for using signing statements, it was typically he would say, well, this is how I interpret the law you just gave me. Kind of saying like, well, wait a minute, he was saying, I don't think this is an actual law in a signing statement. And then the reason why he acted on it, and no one is critical.
The reason why he signed it is because it would have gone back. If the president doesn't sign it, then it's got to go back to the House and Senate. And it could get a supermajority. And sorry, Mr. President, not signing it is the same as a veto. So Congress could have overridden it, right?
Yeah, well, he can obviously, but when
if you're not signing it, if you don't sign a bill, it's akin to a veto.
But there might have been other things in the bill that he liked, right? So he signs it and then says specifically this part of it, though, I don't think is actual law. That is it's how he treats everything, isn't it?
I know, everything.
It's how
what's happening on our border
laws.
How is it that we have turned over 5 of the worst guys in Guantanamo. We've turned them over, given them. We get this other soldier back, yet we have dumped all of these Mexican citizens out on the street, and the president hasn't even mentioned Tamarisi's name. Do we have Sergeant Tamarisi on this morning?
That is the rumor. We have it supposedly confirmed, but he's calling from a Mexican prison, so whether it happens
we'll believe it when we see it.
I don't know.
When's it supposed to happen?
Top of next hour.
So we hope to have him on with us at the top of next hour. Here's a guy who is sitting and rotting, completely wrongly accused. This is an easy one. President, all he has to do is call the president of Mexico. That's it. Mexico is not an enemy of ours. And the president won't lift a finger for this guy. And the only reason why this thing is announced, the only reason why this happened is because the president is trying to get the VA off of the front page of the newspapers. That's all he's doing. He's just trying to get everybody to stop talking about the VA. And so instead of talking about the VA and how he doesn't care about our soldiers, he then goes and trades the Taliban soldiers for one of ours. The one guy our soldiers say betrayed us and was a deserter and got people killed because they went out to look for him. And I stand by it. I mean, I'd really like to hear from soldiers today. If you have ever been kept in a prison or a hostage situation, if you've ever been in a Marcus Luttrell situation or a John McCain situation, if you've even been close to it, would you want the United States of America to do the deal that was just done? I would, because I'd be like, please help me, help, please.
5,000 soldiers, release them all.
Yeah, I would
think if you're in that situation, you'd probably be willing to,
right,
any kind of exchange.
Yeah, just make an exchange. Please help me, just make an exchange. However, I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I can't imagine that. Marcus Luttrell is saying yes to that.
No, he's got a little bit different mindset than we do.
Yeah.
Do anything you want with the girl, but leave me alone. That's how we act.
We have a soldier here in Fort Worth. Joshua, go ahead.
Yes, sir. How are you doing, Mr. Beck?
Good.
Yeah, I just had to get this off my chest because I'm seeing everybody saying basically the same things that y'all have been going over about how he's a deserter and everything. And I was stationed in Alaska along with this guy and deployed to Afghanistan in ODF 9 through 10. So I was over there whenever all that happened, and he walked off that base by himself, and it was a little outpost, and so he knew where the areas were that you were able to get off on, and went out and basically joined the Taliban. And from then on out, we were starting to get hit on areas that basically we only knew of where we were going to, from IEDs, all sorts of ambushes that only we train for and we know with. And so the IEDs started to get placed on certain areas of the trucks where they would do the most damage. And I actually just sent you guys over on Pat and Stu's page of the 6 guys who ended up getting killed when we were looking for this guy. So the pictures of all those the 6 people that died from this were on there.
So you're obviously saying that you believe that he provided the Taliban intelligence on where you'd be,
and you were there. You were there.
Yes, sir. I was in the 509th Airborne Infantry Division out of Alaska, and he was in the 501st.
And did you actually know him personally?
Yes, sir.
And so you believe that he was, after knowing him personally, you actually believe he would do that to our own troops?
Oh, he hated America.
I don't know how you get into the military by hating America, but how do you, give me an example of what he said to you?
Well, he was always talking about how we're basically like the bullies of the world, and that all we wanted to do was go over and start wars to get oil from Iraq, or that we were just trying to push all of our ideologies and policies on other people and other countries.
What was he doing in the military?
How did he get into this situation to where we would have had him serve?
How did we get it? How did we get him into that situation?
Yeah, I mean, how were our soldiers surrounded by a guy, how do we allow it? How do we allow somebody to watch your back that has that attitude?
I have no idea. I'm thinking the exact same way. I don't know.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Joshua. I appreciate it. Could you hold on? I want to get some information in case we need to get some more information from you. But that's, wow. I mean,
that's amazing.
I mean, we've been infiltrated. We have been infiltrated.